So this record is an absolute... I'm recording without my microphone. I am recording without my microphone. Why? Why did I do that? Oh, for God's sake. Alright, hang on. Okay, so now that I actually have my microphone attached, that was helpful. Hello, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. So another New Metal Monday is upon us where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and I have an absolute jam-packed episode for you guys this week. I have 7 brand new records. That's 7, not 5 that I usually seem to do, or thereabouts. I've got 7 this week, but again, we're going to get straight to the point because I'll end up rambling on for ages about some of these albums because a few of them are going to be ranking very highly on my album of the year list, so far anyway, but there was one that was a definite curveball. I was not expecting to, 1, like it, and 2, for it to sound like it did. Just watch the video and you'll find out why. Okay, so first up on my list, and these are in no particular order whatsoever, is probably one of the biggest releases of the week, and that's Immortal with War Against All, and it's their 10th studio album. Now, if you haven't heard of Immortal, what rock do you live under? Is it peaceful? And can I join you, please? Because that would be epic. Now, this is Norwegian black metal at its absolute finest. Now, Norwegian black metal is usually very rough, very heavy, very brutal, and very in your face, and very much so relentless. But this record is actually quite accessible. Don't get me wrong. All of that brutality is there, and, you know, the speed and the ferocity and things like that. But it's actually quite accessible. It's got a lot of melody, and it's got a couple of groove moments and a couple of speed moments in there as well, you know, just to kind of support the brutality of the Norwegian black metal. And honestly, this record just absolutely obliterates. It just completely explodes, and it just gets better each and every time you listen to it. Now, I did write a full review breaking down the records track by track on This Day in Metal, so if you want to read my review and any other articles that we have on this website, I'll include the link in the description box below. In my written reviews, I'm a lot more descriptive when it comes to talking to records, rather than on my channel here where I just go, wow, this is amazing, go and listen to it and this is why. I'm a lot more descriptive, and my reviews are a lot more detailed and a lot longer, so if you want to go check that out, again, the description box has the link below. And I'm always going to plug the website on this channel because every visit to the website helps me, it helps the rest of the writers, it helps us in general as a team. So if you can go check it out, have a wee wander about. We've got a lot of really cool stuff on the website and more cool stuff to come. Thank you very much. Now, it's an absolutely demonic rager. The production is super crisp, it's pretty much flawless, and it definitely does give off that traditional vibe of icy wastelands and snow-capped mountain ranges with mad shredding, loads of solos, epic drums. The drums are really thunderous in this. Again, very heavy on the atmosphere, but a fair few mid-tempo groovy moments as well, so it's not overbearing. It's a really enjoyable record to listen to, and again, each and every time you listen to it, you pick something else up from it that's completely different from the last listen, and it just gets better and better. Favourite tracks of this record are War God, No Sun, Return to the Cold, and the closing track, which I'm going to put down here because pronunciation is not my strong point, so I'm not going to butcher it because I won't do it justice at all. But this track in particular is absolutely stunning. It's quite emotive, but it's just beautiful. You just listen to it, take my word for it, it's amazing. Go check it out. Okay, so next up, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't normally do this in my videos, but I am aware that I've got 7 albums to get through, so I'm not lumping these 2 records together, but I do say a lot of the same things about them, so I'm just kind of going to group them together a little bit. Don't get me wrong, they are very different in their own rights, and I'll explain that in a minute, but my next 2 records that I want to talk about is Metal Church with Congregation of Annihilation, and Elegant Weapons with Horns for a Halo. Now, in my very humble opinion, it's because of these 2 records that prove to me that old school, traditional, heavy metal, thrash metal, groove metal is not dead. You know, that proper 80s heavy vibe It's not dead, it's still alive, it's still kicking, it's still screaming its head off, and I am here for it. So I want to talk about Metal Church first. This is their 13th studio album and it's proper 80s heavy metal, thrash metal. It's the perfect balance between the two, and the solos in this, there's solos everywhere throughout this record and they're absolutely fantastic. Proper shredding epicness, really fantastic melodies, solos flying left, right and centre, really catchy hooks, and not to mention the Dio style vocals with those screams and those really raspy vocals. It definitely reminds me of Dio and it's just absolutely brilliant. I loved this record and I've spun it a fair amount of times over the weekend. Proper 80s heavy metal with a thrash foundation, so if you like your traditional stuff with a thrash foundation, definitely check it out. Favourite tracks of this record are Pick a God and Pray, Say a Prayer with 7 Bullets, All That We Destroy, and My Favourite Sin. So now moving on to Elegant Weapons. Now Elegant Weapons are a super band and they consist of members of Rainbow, Uriah Deep, Judas Priest and Accept. So if you like any of those bands that I've just listed, you want to check this record out. It's their very first album, proper groove thrash metal with an 80s vibe, and it is absolutely stunning. Now, much like Metal Church, it does have all of the soaring solos, the mad shredding, the thunderous beats, the really epically heavy rhythm section, but in this particular record, there's more of a bluesy vibe sometimes throughout the record, and that's what sets it apart from Metal Church. The vocals as well are slightly different. Don't get me wrong, the Dio screams do appear throughout this record, but they are more velvety, they're a lot softer, and they're just absolutely stunning. I'm not going to try and list any of the songs that I like in particular of this record because I genuinely love the record from beginning to end, and to be honest with you, with my next few records that I've got coming up that I'm going to be talking about, it's impossible for me to pick favourite tracks because I adore every single track on the next coming up albums. Okay, so next up we're coming away from kind of like the 80s heavy metal, thrash metal vibe, and we're coming into a band that is a very much a me band. It's a me kind of band, so you know that it's going to be all about the atmosphere now, and yes, it's Finnish melodic death metal. And that's Kalma with their self-titled album, Kalma. And it's their 9th studio album, so yes, you know it, it's all about the atmosphere here, all of that synthy goodness, those really strong dark melodies. It's really catchy, it's absolutely stunning. The guitar work in this is absolutely incredible. It's really grand, it's really catchy, it's very epic, very grandiose. There's a few power metal moments in there musically, but the vocals themselves are very much melodic death metal, so you do have those growls, but they're the kind of growls that you can understand instead of just getting screamed at without having a clue what they're saying. Those are the kind of growls that I like, and the vocals are very much about that. Now there's a few haunting spoken word moments throughout this, and it is very rousing and it's very uplifting, and again I keep saying these words, epic, grandiose, really catchy, and it's very, very addictive. I loved this record from beginning to end. Every single track on this record is beautiful. Okay, so speaking of melodic death metal, I have another melodic death metal band here, and that's Whythre with Impregnate My Hate, and it's the band's 2nd studio album, which is their first album in 8 years, and it's only half an hour long. This certainly packs a punch, but again it has all of that grand atmosphere. Unlike Kalma, Whythre do focus on the guitar work more so than anything else. However, it is absolutely beautiful. It's very much melodic, it's very heavy, it is very brutal in parts as well. The vocals are a lot harsher in this record, but they're still understandable. Not only is it very guitar focused, it is very drum focused as well, and the synthy moments in this are absolutely incredible. There is one track in particular called Imminence, which is just absolutely incredible. I know I keep saying these words, but I can't actually put into any other words how amazing this record is. A lot of atmosphere, a lot of melody, a lot of catchy hooks, but it's very brutal, very heavy, absolutely fantastic solos in this. All the atmosphere, synthy goodness, definitely get on this. Now, this next record is the Curveball that I was talking about at the beginning of my video. This record completely blew my mind. I was not expecting it to be what it was. It was actually the genre that pulled me into this, and when I saw the genre, it was pure curiosity that pulled me in, because I didn't think this was going to work, if I'm honest. I thought this would be awful, but I was going to give it a shot anyway, and I was very humbled. I was very humbled in my opinion, and it's absolutely incredible. And that's Mesarthim with Arrival. And this is black trance metal. Yes, I said trance as in the dancey kind of music. Trance. This is black trance metal. This is black trance metal. Trance music. I am not a fan of trance music at all, but I don't know why they're classed as black trance music, because it doesn't sound trance at all. It's a cinematic soundscape with black metal guitars, black metal vocals, thunderous drums, and this is beyond epic. This is beyond grandiose. This is a whole other level entirely. So if you like your really mad biopics when it comes to movie soundtracks, you know, it's really grand, orchestral, in your face, atmospheric, really rousing and things like that when you're watching movies, try teaming that with black metal and it works. It really works. And this track, this entire record is phenomenal. I listened to it this morning with my headphones on when I was doing my morning workout routine, and it just transports you to another dimension. And I can't put into words how amazing it is. It completely blew my mind and I was not expecting it. Again, a lot of atmosphere, a lot of grandiosity, a lot of epicness, but the chugging guitars and the drums and the solos in this. So yeah, if you like your cinematic soundscapes, your grandiosity, try teaming that with your beefy guitars and your black metal vocals, and this absolutely works. I was not expecting to hear what I heard. I don't think I would class it as trance myself. I don't know what I would class it as, but it's beautiful and I cannot recommend this record enough. Definitely check it out. Okay, so last up on my list, this is a record that I've been very excited about since it was announced. So I've been waiting for this record for a fair amount of time now, but that's Cloak with Black Flame Eternal, and it's the band's third studio album, and they have taken a nosedive straight into melodic black metal, and I am absolutely here for it. If you're a fan of the likes of Rotting Christ and Behemoth, you're definitely going to want to check these guys out. They are classed as black, dark Gothic metal, and that absolutely suits this band to a T. I can't think of any other way to describe this record in particular. This record is going to be ranking very highly on my album of the year list, that's for sure. I adored this. I'm a huge Rotting Christ fan, and it definitely reminded me of those guys. And honestly, you're just not going to be disappointed at all. It's an absolutely fantastic balance between black metal and dark Gothic metal. It's such a perfect balance that even though it's very heavy, it's very dark, it's very morose, it's very brutal, it's also beautifully melodic, absolutely stunning with atmosphere. The vocals are very dark, they're very ethereal, and I cannot get enough of this record. So if you like your metal to be supported with orchestral moments, the chants in the background, the grandiosity, all of that atmosphere with the chugging guitars and just the amazing vocals, definitely check these guys out. I adored this album from beginning to end. I can't possibly pick favourite tracks from this record. It's beautiful, it's stunning, definitely check it out. Okay, so I think I've rambled on enough now about these 7 records. That's it for this week's New Metal Monday. If you can comment down below to let me know what you think of these records, in particular the black trance metal record, I'd be interested to hear what people's opinion is on that. And again, if I've missed anything, please pop it down in the comment section and I'll definitely check out your recommendations. If you can like, share, subscribe, I really do appreciate your support. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next video.